Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you to add some positive encouragement to your life. Last week, I got stuck with some technology problems, but I did a video. Actually, I didn't do a video. I did an audio called There's Always Another Way. I was so frustrated because my camera and my lighting were not working, and I did not want to leave you hanging. So I did do a live stream, which is like no other that I've done before without any video. But I'm going to leave it up there as a reminder to myself that there's always another way and that it's okay if you're not doing A+ work. Let me know in a comment below if you were a student like I was, who was always striving to be the best, where even an A wasn't good enough. I needed an A+. And I know I probably have issues with needing validation and approval and appreciation. I get that. I'm working through that. And it is a little bit related to our topic today, which is all about finding a way to cope that really works. I promised you that I was going to talk about quit fighting with food, and it's related to this topic. So stick with me for just a moment. And also let me know in a comment below if you or someone you know has ever struggled with emotional eating, stress eating, eating when you're not even hungry. Maybe you're bored, you're upset. Maybe you are sad. Maybe you're actually happy and you're eating to celebrate. Maybe you have some kind of pain, some physical pain, emotional pain that you are trying to escape from. And so turning to food sounds like a good idea. I have an entire course called Quit Fighting with Food. Let me know in a comment below if you would like me to bring you through that course. I haven't done it for a couple of years. Actually, at the beginning of all of this hogwash, I did a mini version of it called Stop Stress Eating, because that's what happened to me. Prior to March of 2020, I thought that I felt myself to be very fit, very active, very healthy, really living a calm and confident life. And then the carpet got pulled out from underneath me. And when I say that, what I mean is that not only did, everything shut down, but my jobs that I loved, that I was working at, where I was teaching, that got shut down. So not only was my stream of income, my many streams of income, not only were those shut off, but I felt that my whole purpose, my whole reason for being, how I loved to live and share and teach and connect on a daily basis, all of that was shut down. And I've done videos in the past over at my Healthy American channel and in the private webinars. In fact, if you're not on the private webinars, what in the non-spinning world? I hope that you will join me by being either a donor to the work that I do or being a paid subscriber to my Substack. You can also get the Substack for free, but for those that have paid to support me, and also anyone that is a paid subscriber to peggyhall.tv, you are invited to a free monthly live Q&R webinar. And we just did it last Saturday, and I share a lot of personal stories and background that I don't do on the public channels. So there I talk a little bit more about my feelings of losing my way, not just because of all of the hogwash that was going on, but personally, I felt that I wasn't able to contribute and share and teach as I'd like to. So what happened in those early days of the hogwash, because I was not teaching, I was not doing my regular fitness, I was not sleeping very well, I was trying to sound the alarm to others, so I was up at all hours of the night trying to research and share information, and I was literally living on popcorn and all sorts of food that I don't normally eat because my access to healthy, fresh food was being shut off. As you know, grocery stores, well, the grocery stores were open, but it was very limited and they wanted you to suffocate yourself. And it was almost like my revenge, like, I'll show you, I'm going to eat popcorn until this ends. I know it sounds childish, but it was my way of fighting back. Like, I'm going to buck the trend, and you think you can tell me what to do. Well, I can do what I want to do, and I want to eat popcorn. I know it sounds silly, but many of you told me that you were in the same boat, and your regular way of living and your exercise and your health and your sleep and your social part of your life, all of that really went haywire because of all of the hogwash that they sloshed all over us. So this relates to a funny story that I shared in a video on my Healthy American channel about eating. Actually, it's a non-dairy oat milk ice cream bar, chocolate covered ice cream bar. And I broke one of my own rules, which is eating in front of the computer, because it's easy for me, if I'm eating in front of the computer, to lose track of what I'm eating. I don't actually even enjoy it because I'm not focusing on it. But I was juggling a couple of things and I thought that I would save time. And I'm eating this chocolate covered vanilla ice cream bar in front of the computer. And what pops up as an advertisement? A woman eating a chocolate covered vanilla ice cream bar. I thought that was pretty creepy. Let me get back to the topic at hand, which is finding a way to cope with the stressors in your life without turning to food. Now, there are times when food actually suits us. I think that is an okay reason for eating. I am not a person that's going to tell you not to eat the cookie or the popcorn or the pizza or French fries or potato chips, what have you. You need to decide what you want to eat and how you feel and how that serves you best. I have a 5-word diet that I'll share with you at the end of this video, and I'll tell you a little story about that as well. But what I do want to help you remember is that food is not going to actually work the way that we might think it does when it comes to healing our emotions or dealing with our emotions. And here's why. Let's say that you have an emotion of frustration. And it's very common given what we've all been going through for the last few years. And you're so frustrated and you have this pent up energy and it's not safe to punch a wall, or of course you don't want to hurt anyone or anything. And so you've got this pent up energy and you may feel that turning to food is going to make you feel better. Maybe you're going to be crunching on some chips or pretzels. Maybe you're going to soothe and calm yourself with something creamy like mashed potatoes or ice cream. And it can serve as a distraction from what you're going through. I understand that. I've done that for many years until I realized that after I had my mini escape into the food episode, the same emotions and situation was still there for me to deal with. Not only was it there for me to deal with, but now I might be dealing with the guilt of eating foods that I didn't really want to or that I didn't really enjoy. And I've got the lost time that I wasted doing that. And then I still have the problem at hand. The second thing that happens is sometimes that food really will sort of deaden the feelings a little bit. I'm not a person who drinks, but for some people, food can almost be like a drug, like maybe smoking. I don't know if smoking is a drug, but an outlet, I will say, like smoking or like drinking, because not only does it give you a distraction from the situation that you're trying to escape, but it literally can deaden some of the pain by, for example, overeating. You might feel so full that you're a little bit groggy and sleepy. You might even take a nap. So it's just like a segue into this escape mode, much like perhaps somebody drinking and they feel really sleepy or relaxed, and then the pain is not so acute. So the issue with this, you might be saying, well, see, Peggy, it works. Those activities do help to deaden the pain, but they don't help you address the root cause of that pain. And I'm putting all of the emotions into the bucket of pain. It may not be pain that you're feeling, physical pain, but there's something that you are looking to escape by turning to food. This may not apply to you. You may be one of those rare people, and I know them, that said to me once, Peggy, I don't know what the issue is. If I want to lose a few pounds, I just stop eating that much. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, this emotional eating. There are people that have not made the connection of emotions and food together. But I would say, and I know in the work that I've done for the last, oh my gosh, 20, 25 years or more, helping people break that chain, break that connection. I call it quit fighting with food, because they end up punishing themselves with the food, feeling worse and worse and worse, worst, as I say, because now they've not only ingested the calories, but they've ingested the guilt that goes along with it. So I made an offhanded comment in a video a couple of episodes ago where I said you should eat what you enjoy and enjoy what you eat. And I stand by that comment. But there was a comment that was I love reading your comments. And there was a very astute comment by one of our healthy Americans here, and our I need to come up with a name for our Living Swell group here. And the person said, I can't eat whatever I want because I will just gain weight. So I am doing I think a carnivore diet, he said, and I feel so much better. And there may have been other aspects to that answer or to his comment. So let's say that there is a person who says, you know what, Peggy, I can't eat whatever I want. If I eat whatever I want, I will balloon up in weight. I don't feel good. I don't have any self-control. So I eat between the hours of 11 to 4. For example, that may be a valid comment. Or someone else says, I only do keto, or someone else says, I just do carnivore. Someone else says, I am vegan. So as a matter of fact, all of your comments like that support the comment that I made, which is you are eating what you enjoy because your body enjoys it. It is responding to that. And if you actually thought and sat down and said, oh, Peggy said I can eat whatever I want. I'm going to eat 2, giant, I don't know, buckets of fried chicken or something. And then you feel sick. Well, you actually didn't enjoy it. It wasn't what you enjoyed. You may have enjoyed a piece, chewing it thoroughly, noticing the smell, what it looks like, the texture, as you're eating it, telling yourself, this tastes so good. I'm enjoying every bite. I'm savoring every morsel. And then when you eat in that manner, instead of in front of the computer or ingesting guilt along with it, you will be amazed that you will be satisfied sooner on a smaller amount of food, and you won't be beating yourself up over it. Again, you may fall outside of the experience that thousands of my clients have had in my wellness coaching. Many, many men and women have a connection, an emotional connection to food, eating when they're bored, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they're angry, when they want to, like, I'll show them, when they're tired. Fill in the blank. It may be a way of eating a favorite food because you're missing someone or missing an experience and you're hoping to reconnect to that. I have so many examples and tips and tools to help you in the program, Quit Fighting with Food. But the number one thing I will say is that you individually can experiment and decide what type of eating pattern, what type of nutrition, what type of timing, what types of foods serve you well. I used to be a person that loved to start my morning with a cup of coffee and a piece of toast. It was just really a ritual, and it made me feel like this is breakfast and I can't wait for it. The smell of the coffee, the crunch of the toast. And after a while, I realized that the caffeine in the coffee didn't serve me well. It didn't even give me energy. It gave me anxiety. It gave me jitters. I felt jumpy, and I have enough energy to go on through the day, so I didn't need this kind of anxious and anxiety type of feelings. So I switched to decaf, and every once in a while I will have a couple of sips of coffee. And even more so, I like to drink my hot lemonade, which is hot lemon juice or lime juice with a spoonful of raw organic honey. I get all my B vitamins. It's yummy and flavorful, and I don't even crave the coffee after I have that. The other thing I noticed was that the toast gave me indigestion. And I realized that I actually wanted to be gluten-free, and I pretty much am gluten-free. On a rare occasion, I will have some, but it's not something that I seek out. It did not require willpower. It did not require any prescription from a dietitian. It was me understanding my body and how it responded to the food. And if there is a time where I want a cup of coffee and a piece of toast, I will do so, but I will eat it mindfully and I will enjoy it. And I will say to myself, oh, this is so delicious. I just am loving this. I'm savoring it. And I will enjoy every morsel, and I will remind myself of how much I'm enjoying it. And I personally have found that when I quit fighting with food, when I stop that battle, when I stop ingesting the guilt, like, oh, I can't believe you're eating toast, you were supposed to be gluten-free, that backfires. That doesn't work either. So having some compassion and understanding with yourself goes a long way. Let me know if this is an issue where you struggle. Let me know if you struggle with self-sabotage, if you struggle with others trying to kind of tempt you into maybe eating things or not exercising, and you're like, hey, this is an important part of my life. Why are you trying to derail me? Let me know if you need help with overcoming holidays, events, birthdays, that kind of thing, because these are areas where I have taught on in great detail, and I would love to share that with you if you're interested. All right, I'm going to finish up with my 5-word diet and the little story behind it. My mom, may she rest in peace, was an emergency room nurse for her career. And I've spoken about that before, that she was not fond of the mainstream medical merry-go-round system. She actually fought against that. And she was all about trauma nursing, meaning when somebody had a broken leg or they had a laceration, they needed to be stitched up, or there was some kind of emergency. That was the type of nursing that she practiced and that she believed in. She was not a fan of somebody being a lifelong patient of a doctor on all of those prescription medicines and so forth. She didn't like to talk about illnesses. It's ironic, maybe not ironic, since she was on the front lines of that. And as she got older, she would tell me that people in her age group, it's like, that's all they talked about was their aches and pains and their surgeries and their doctor's appointments. And she said, I want to live. I don't want to talk about all of that. So this was my mom, and I learned so much from her about the body, about biology. It's really a deep love of mine, although I never wanted to go into nursing, but I did go into health and wellness and fitness and nutrition. So I would help my mom with her licensing for her nursing license every couple of years. And she would have to take these classes in order to get the continuing education credits. One of the classes that she took was a book on Chinese medicine, like traditional medicine. And I would read some of the questions to her in the book and help her study and kind of follow along. And it was so fun for me because I wanted to learn it as well. In fact, darn it, I was trying to find the book to show it on screen. If I do come across that, I will share it in another video. But the book was all about, traditional ways of healing, healthy life. And when it came to the chapter on nutrition, this is just what floored me. Okay, after years of struggling myself, I think starting in college, where I put on it's called the freshman 15, you gain weight because you're living in the dormitory, all the food is available, and then kind of struggling, dieting, and then getting on that diet, merry-go-round and roller coaster. You know how that goes, the yo-yo up and down. And then finally realizing I don't want to live like this. I don't want to struggle. I want to eat what I enjoy and enjoy what I eat and allow my body to tell me what it is that suits me well, and then modify, adapt, and adjust from there. So I will never tell somebody exactly, although I have done detox diets and 10-day transformation and 3-day detox. I've done all of those things in the past, but really it's up to you to decide how and why your body thrives. So in this chapter, I was floored. It said, this is the Chinese way for optimal health. Are you ready? The 5-word diet. Eat lightly of nourishing foods. I read that sentence and I felt such a sigh of relief. Eat lightly of nourishing foods. I thought, I can totally do that. I love nourishing foods. I love foods that make me feel alive, that give me energy instead of deplete my energy. And as I say, I like the little chocolate covered oat milk ice cream bar, just like anyone else, and a handful of popcorn. But I notice even the popcorn does not sit with me well. It kind of gives me issues, and it loses its appeal because I know how it's going to make me feel. And I know that if I go overboard and instead of one ice cream bar, I have 2 or 3 or 4, or instead of a couple bites of the cake, I have a slice of a cake or half of a cake, that's not going to serve me well. So I love this concept. Eat lightly of nourishing foods. You get to determine what is nourishing for you. It may be that on any given day, homemade, home-baked chocolate chip cookie with non-GMO chocolate chips, by the way, because most of those are GMO, including Nestle's chocolate chips. But let's say a homemade treat with your favorite beverage, and you are going to savor that. You're going to enjoy it. It actually will give you a lift. It will increase your dopamine. You're going to feel fantastic because you indulged and you treated yourself in a way that served you. So friends, Food is not the answer to our emotional problems. We need to face those head on. We need to deal with our emotions, feel them, express them, release them, learn from them. I've done dozens of videos on this channel all about dealing with your emotions. It's actually easier to face them rather than to let them build and build and build while you might be building a few extra pounds onto your frame because you're trying to avoid them. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Let me know if it's something you'd like me to talk about more on this channel. And I really appreciate you being on board. And remember to catch me at the Healthy American channel. I'm streaming these days at 4 p.m. Pacific, that's 7 p.m. Eastern. We are talking a lot about detoxing from the chemical clouds from what they're spraying at us and on us. So be sure that you tune in there as well if that is of interest to you. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you for being on board, and I'll see you next week, if not sooner.